So I bought the newer Gentleman Society Ambrée some time ago, really liked it and decided to buy Society Extreme as well. I'm gonna link to my Society Ambrée review above, so make sure you check that one out after this video. I know Gentleman Society Extreme has been out for some time now, but I wanted to share my thoughts on it before doing a full comparison of them all. And I've worn this quite a lot since I bought it. So the original Society actually took a step away from that sort of a signature Gentleman DNA, and the new Ambrée version took that Society DNA in a richer, warmer direction with tobacco. The main twist to the Extreme is basically coffee, but to me it's coffee done in a somewhat unique way. Let's go through the notes before going into what it smells like. We have nutmeg, peppermint and clary sage at the top, coffee, iris, narcissus and a triple dose of vetiver at the heart of it, and vanilla absolute, patchouli, cedar and sandalwood at the base. So the opening of Society Extreme on my skin is intensely fresh and bright, and to me it's mostly about a minty and aromatic freshness. The mint really pops off and you can clearly pick out the sage there. The nutmeg is struggling to pick through that duo, but it's there in the background, bringing the opening a bit of contrast with its warmth. This duo, the mint and sage, is so good, and I would absolutely love to see more fragrances with that combination. Openings often don't last that long, but this actually stays for at least a little bit before heading into the mids, which is when I feel you start getting more of that sort of signature Society DNA with the vetiver, vanilla and the narcissus. It's basically woody and floral with vanilla. You still got that mint and sage duo going strong and bringing the whole thing a bit of contrast. And this is when you really start recognizing parts of the original, but there's a twist, and that twist is coffee. The coffee here though, if I compare it with the very few other fragrances I have with coffee in them, feels very smooth, almost creamy and less warm. This is not a loud or warm kind of coffee. It's very smooth and creamy and more like a cold sweet latte rather than an espresso. The drawdown is where its woodiness gets more prominent and richer, and the vanilla is pushing through more as well. Society Extreme on my skin dries down to a rich kind of woodiness with vanilla. That sexy mint and sage duo is still there, and the coffee brings it an extra dose of sexiness. The drawdown is also where I feel the narcissus is pretty much pushed into the background, so that part of the Society DNA feels toned down in the Extreme. So the Extreme, in one sentence, intensely but smoothly woody, cold sweet latte and vanilla with a dose of mint and sage. So I am going to do a proper comparison of the three, but like a quick one here. Both the original and Ambrée are more intensely floral. All three are woody and vanillic scents, but the original focuses more on that duo with a more prominent floral side. And Society Ambrée focuses more on sweet tobacco and vanilla with a less intense dose of woodiness and florals. I think Extreme expands on the original with more depth and more woodiness, but it tones down the floral side and instead focuses on the coffee. A big difference to me is also the mint and sage duo, which I think is absolutely fantastic and which I think separates it from both the OG and Ambrée. The original definitely feels like the less nuanced version of them all, even though I don't find it to be a simple scent. So how do I feel when I wear Gentleman Society Extreme? This is definitely sexy. I think coffee can either make or break a scent, but the way it's done here and how it's combined with that sexy duo of mint and sage is just wicked. This is coffee done in a sexy way with a bit of that gentleman elegance to it. So what about compliments and mass appeal? This is definitely a compliment getter, and I've already had several compliments while wearing it, and out of the three Society scents, it's definitely the most compliment getting one. So let's talk a bit about the performance. So the performance has improved the more I've used it. My initial wear, however, was not good in that I felt it was quite weak, but I do find it to be a bit better now. I do not find it to be a strong scent, and it is definitely nowhere near beast mode, but it has surprised me several times when I thought it was long gone and I get a compliment on it. I'm getting above average projection for about an hour or two, then it starts to sit closer to my skin. Longevity is much better and it lasts quite a while, and I don't always spray on clothes, but the full dry down of it on clothes is intoxicating. So my suggestion is this: bring an atomizer with you if you're going out, and top it up every now and then if you want people to notice it properly. So when should you use Gentleman Society Extreme? This is basically a woody and vanillic scent with coffee and an aromatic touch. It's not intensely warm and it's not overly deep or heavy in any way, which is why I feel it can be used throughout the year, but with a focus on spring, summer nights, fall and winter. I'm definitely going to enjoy it throughout the year. As for occasions, I think this works just as well for casual and formal. It does have a bit of freshness to it, but I don't consider this to be freshy, so I will most likely not reach for Society Extreme when going to the gym or on super warm days. So who's Gentleman Society Extreme for? So I think it primarily comes down to two things. Do you like the scent of vanilla, and do you like the scent of coffee? If yes, then you might enjoy Society Extreme. I think its woodiness is so likable that most people will enjoy it. The Narcissus in the original was very much a love or hate thing to most people, but that part in Society Extreme is toned down, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue to most. Do not buy Extreme if you love the original's more prominent Narcissus and think you're going to get the same thing in Extreme because it's toned down. And if you love coffee-focused scents, then this is a must to at least try. So what are some of the alternatives to Society Extreme? So even though the core Society DNA is a bit different in Extreme, it's still clearly a Society fragrance, which is the reason why my first two alternatives are going to be the other two in the line. For more on both, please do go back to my previous comparison. I would recommend the original if you want something that's sort of a closer to the Extreme, but at the same time not the same. And Ambrée if you want that DNA but with a big dose of tobacco and sweetness. Ambrée's warmer, richer and deeper scent is definitely a bit different than the other two that do not have that depth and warmth. I wish I had more coffee scents, but I don't. But out of the ones I have, there's Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Green Stravaganza, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, this smells good, but I was a bit disappointed in it. But it seems like I'm in a minority because a lot of people love it. It's basically freshness, coffee and soft woodiness. There's Montale Intense Cafe, which combines coffee, vanilla and rose. I used to wear this a lot a couple of years back. Very floral and very different compared to Society Extreme. There's also Mystic Experience from Initio, which I believe has been discontinued. Let's talk about price. I bought this at a discount for about $80 for 60 ml. I think most retail stores have it higher than that, which is the reason why I do recommend to have a look around at different discounters to make sure that you don't pay full retail for it. So how am I going to rate Gentleman Society Extreme? This is a great example of a well-made fragrance where every single part of it comes together in a fantastic way. Remove the vanilla and it wouldn't be as likable and as appealing. Remove the coffee and it wouldn't stand out the way it does. Remove that mint and sage duo and it would lose a lot of the contrast it has. This is Society done in a sexier way, and to me it has more layers and nuances to it compared to the original. Coffee can definitely make or break a scent, but this to me is coffee done right. And what I feel makes this so good is that mint and sage duo, which gives the whole thing a wicked and sexy contrast against the vanilla and coffee. I'm pretty sure I would not have rated it as high if the mint and sage duo would have been less prominent. My main issue with it is the performance. I would have loved for the projection to have been a bit better. Sometimes it seems like it doesn't cut through the air when I'm out, and that's a bummer. But I compensate by spraying more, and the scent itself is gorgeous. I'm going to give Givenchy Gentleman Society Extreme a strong 9, and it's definitely among some of my absolute favorites in the Gentleman line. So I want to know your thoughts on Givenchy Gentleman Society Extreme and how you would rate it from 1 to 10. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Make sure to check out the videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.